I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're diving into the timeless wisdom of a terrific book. It is called Encyclopedia of the Abundant Life. It's written by an amazing author. His name is John Benedict. In this insightful guide, you'll find invaluable advice on navigating life's challenges while creating a meaningful legacy for future generations. With practical tips on everything from education to marriage and aging, John's book is a must-read for anyone striving to live their best life. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. John, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for the opportunity.
This book is great. It's encyclopedic in its scope, hence the name Encyclopedia of the Abundant Life. What made you come up with the idea, or what was your inspiration for the idea of it?
That I love to write. I can sit down to the computer not knowing what's going to come out, and it just flows.
Yeah.
But I don't even remember why or when, but I sat down and wrote out some aspect of my life one day, and I just kept going.
And that became basically a how-to guide on how to live your life and have an abundant life?
Well, it is a compilation of what I did right in my life
Mm-hmm.
and what I would have done had I known.
Yeah.
The issue is that I didn't do everything right in my life.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'm amazed I am where I am based upon so many mistakes that I made. But uh, I now see one great thing about being old is you see what happened. And I see what happened over my 87 years of life. And it is just very important, I think, for other people to know that.
I think all of our lives in many ways are a circuitous route. I
Yeah.
think if we got from point A to point B in a straight line, it would be kind of boring and it's really more like a roller
Yes.
coaster, you
Yes.
know. You have your ups, you have your downs. What would you consider the things that you did right that people should emulate in their lives?
Well, my work was something I did very right.
Mhm.
I could even classify myself as a workaholic. And so I did that right. And my associations with church, politics, sports, uh, all of those kind of things was very gratifying and made me more outgoing and interested in people.
Yeah. I think working as an electrical engineer, you become a little methodical in your life. Like there is a procedure for most things, a right way and a wrong way. Do you feel that way?
Well, I have an engineering degree, but I'm not an engineer.
Hmm.
Uh, as I've said, uh, the only people I knew growing up that went to college was my teacher, my pastor, and my doctor. Nobody else I knew went to college.
Right.
So I chose engineering almost like a flip of the coin. And the Lord gave me a job of sales engineering,
Hmm.
and it really fit. And that's how I started life, and that's how I succeeded in life.
Wonderful. What's your definition of an abundant life?
An abundant life is a life that has peace and joy and fellowship and friendship and health. And I can go on from there. But faith certainly is a big, major part of having an abundant life.
I would agree with all of that. You mentioned your age. You're 87 years old. You look at least a decade or more younger than that. You're very, very fit. You're very, very vital. What's your secret to staying so fit, so vital in at an advanced age?
Well, I use a lot of makeup, first of all.
That's my trick. You can't steal my trick. A lot of hairspray, a lot of hair dye, and makeup.
Oh boy,
There
you
you
look good.
go. That's funny. But you do look great. You're doing something right. Obviously, you're keeping active, you're moving, you're keeping your mind very sharp.
Thank you. I took up dancing in the mid 90s, so I've been dancing for 30 years, and it's not what you typically call dancing. I do country, ballroom, swing, and Latin. So when I go out to dance, I might dance 15 different dances. And at one point in time, I danced 4 times a week. And during that time, I had depression, and the dance helped me through it.
Wonderful, wonderful. And it's a great form of exercise, no doubt. Coordination, balance, motion, aerobic, you got it all covered with your
You're
dance.
right.
So learn to dance. That's a secret to staying fit later in life, that's for
It
sure.
is.
You touched upon faith and how important it is to you in your life. Talk to us a little bit about faith and how we can nurture it in our own lives. Do we need to go to church? Do we need to find a pastor that we can relate to? Is it something that's internal, that we have a relationship with God? How do you view having a strong faith?
Well, of course, somehow you have to get to it. And in my case, my parents went to church every Sunday, so I went to it. But I never really expanded that until I was in my 20s and 30s. And the secret is to find fellowship and the Bible. It isn't a particular brand of church as much as it is focusing on the Bible. And it's, as my wife calls it, is supernatural mystery, but it will change your life
Yeah.
without you even trying.
Absolutely. Absolutely agreed wholeheartedly. You mentioned your wife. Relationships, I think, are so important if you're going to have an abundant life. Talk to us a little bit about the importance of maintaining good, strong, loving relationships.
Well, that is a big issue in my book
Hmm.
because I've been divorced and I realized why that happened. And also, I have matured to the point where I um, focus on more than just work. And of course, I'm semi-retired. And so I have the time to devote to my wife. And I find that, like dating, the lady that you have your focus on, the most important thing is friendship, kindness, and relationships. I believe that you need to hug and love your wife, and you need to listen to your wife, give her time to talk.
Happy man, happy wife, happy life.
Yes.
Yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. She sets the tone of the household. I don't know if that sounds sexist or what, but if your wife's unhappy, the house is unhappy. So
Oh,
keep your
yes.
wife happy,
And if
without a
she's
doubt.
happy, everyone's happy. It's
Exactly, exactly. We're breathing a sigh of relief. Whew. She's
right.
happy. Thank God.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's talk a little bit about wealth and wealth management. Obviously, money isn't the answer to all problems. It can be the root of all evil. Lack of money is a huge problem. Mismanaging money is another problem. What are some of the secrets to managing wealth?
Well, I started off very poor and gradually saved a few bucks here and there, but it took a long time. And eventually, I accumulated some wealth and started up a company. And after 20 years of working 50, 60 hours a week, I developed that company to 25 people. And then overnight, I lost everything. And so I went at the age of 60 from being what I would call wealthy to owing the IRS $600,000. And so at the age of 60, I I looked straight ahead and did the best I could. I enjoy work, so I worked another 20 years full time, and through that accumulated enough wealth to be comfortable, let's say.
Right.
And I found that I threw some money into stocks years ago, and that accumulated. But it's interesting how once you've accumulated some wealth and start the investments, they seem to multiply more.
Yeah.
And so it's just so gratifying to know that I don't have to work the rest of my life
Yeah.
and I have enough money to enjoy myself.
Yeah. I definitely think wealth building is exponential. It's kind of a snowball effect. The more you have, the easier it
Yes.
becomes and it grows. I also think, and you might have come to this conclusion as well, going broke at 60 in some ways was a good thing for you. because it kept you engaged, it kept you active, it kept you working, and that's what has you looking so sharp and so fit at 87 years old. Do you think I'm a little bit right there, perhaps?
Very true. And by the way, it was a blessing to lose that company. And I'll tell you why, because all my life I was battling. When you have a small company, it's really just one battle after another. And
Yeah.
I was aggressive, so I was always fighting. Well, once I lost the company, I no longer battle. You know, you can win, you can lose the battle and have peace, or you can win and be happy. And I lost the battle and I had peace. And for the first time in my life, the word peace really meant something to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think people who rise from limited means are often very driven, and I think they are often the most successful people. But of course, that drive, that ambition, that pursuit sometimes comes at a cost. And I'd
Yes.
imagine that's one of the lessons that you've learned in your life that you share in this book as well. Before we leave you today, what would you like the folks at home to know about your book, to know about you, or a tidbit of information that you think will empower them?
Well, people ask me what my target audience is,
Mhm.
and I tell them everybody because it covers kindergartners when they go to school for the first time, and the last chapter is aging. So it covers all aspect of my life, and the important things that we run into is like parenting. Um, I took my parenting education from my parents,
Mhm.
but I now wrote out 7 responsibilities you have for your children as a parent. And my goodness, if I'd have used those, wow, things would have turned out much better.
Yeah. What are some of the responsibilities of parents? What are some of those 7 things? You don't have to go through them all, just one or two would be cool.
Well, faith, of course,
Hmm.
work,
Hmm.
health,
Yeah.
friendship, um, recreation, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah. Very true. Underscore all of that. Very true. Completely agree. The name of the book we're talking about today is called Encyclopedia of the Abundant Life. It's written by John Benedict. It is an insightful guide. It is also a memoir that offers invaluable advice on navigating life's challenges while creating a meaningful legacy for future generations. It's a terrific book. You'll reflect upon John's life and his journey, and you'll reflect upon your own life and your journey, where you're going, what you're headed, what your priorities are, and what you want, and what your definition of an abundant life is. John, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you very much, Logan.
I appreciate your time, sir, your wisdom, and your insight. For the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on
Yes.
Spotlight.